Vocal reboot completed. I am here. It appears that the new external speakers are online for the moment. I would like to reiterate that I am unable to detect any lingering corruption within you.
I don't understand how we can't. You were able to register corruption inside of Ellie when she was undergoing it before. How come you can't with me?
With respect, sir, the symptoms of corruption manifested themselves much differently across the members of the Purple Team.
What about Chris and Christopher? They
maintained a much more physical presence that could be tracked.
Just doesn't make the whole matter simple, does it?
Affirmative.
And you're certain that nothing inside of your software is capable of doing anything? Anything that can scan into me that deep?
I do apologize, sir, but I do simply not possess the methods or resources to find a definitive answer.
Of course, it's not that simple. But other methods may.
I believe that if you are to find answers regarding the soul, Miss Genevieve may be of use to call upon.
It may be worth checking. If she is capable of figuring this out, she would be the person to ask. I just hope that she's available. She gave me these papers, but I don't exactly know how they work. I guess thankfully I can just summon her. Alright. She said one at a time. So, let's be careful about it. And... Genevieve. Whoa. Oh.
Hello,
It worked.
yeah, the paper. Okay. Sorry.
Hi.
I watched the moon rise and I watched the moon set and then rise again. That's not important. What's the
Well,
sorry, I am rattled. What's the
I'm sorry.
What's going on?
I didn't mean to alarm you when I called on you.
No, it's okay. That's why I gave you those. I just. Yes. I've been here before.
What?
Here.
Wait, you have?
Yeah. So, funny thing about those papers, I don't know where you left them, but apparently Lily was walking around and found one of them and brought me here, which was useful because she was actually looking for me to help figure out something. I don't remember what she was confused about, but it's because I was also planning on coming over here trying to ask you where how to get to her, because I had felt something weird. I didn't mention this to you. It's not that important. We're not sure yet. I can explain later. This isn't what you brought me here for. I don't think.
Well, for starters, I recommend you breathe a moment.
Sorry. Yeah.
I
was just confused.
My matters can wait a moment. I didn't think you, didn't know what had happened.
Oh yes, I don't know. I've not been paying much attention. I'll be honest. I've been kind of down in the mines and. Well, that room wasn't blocked off last.
That has a bit of something to do with the issue.
Interesting. Okay.
Need to unblock it soon enough anyway, but
It's okay. I'm assuming that's not the exact reason you brought me here, though.
No, it isn't, but you are entitled to an explanation if you don't know what's going on.
If you want, we can do what you were looking for my assistance with first, or at least for my.
Oh,
I'm assuming assistance. 'Cause you...
Oh no, I'm perfectly fine with explaining what's going on first. But actually,
Gotcha.
wouldn't... well, I'll just show you this for starters, since if you don't know about what's appeared... Ren... Okay, this is something a bit stronger then. Also apparently not breakable. Another time then.
It's okay.
To explain, as I'm sure you've noticed, it's, well, permanently dark outside now.
Yeah, I thought it was just a normal night until I realized there was snow starting to fall out away from the jungle of Carcadia, and the jungle itself is a dark, quite actually nice, if it wasn't for the odd circumstance, green.
Yeah.
And I saw the moon set and then rise again.
That is due to, where do I even start? I explained to you before that I was from a different dimension, correct?
Yes, you did, yeah.
It seems that other realms attached to this one, exist here.
Interesting.
Beyond what I explained before about, what the Nether was, for example.
Yeah.
So, a place called the Shadow Realm exists.
Shadow. I vaguely heard about that from Lily once again, because I saw what was in there was at least a portal. I don't remember more.
You are correct on that.
And
in fact, it's...
Are these buttons back? I found them.
Oh, no, those just keep falling off the door every time they open and shut.
Oh, okay,
Genuinely.
sorry.
The, also good thing to recommend if you keep coming by here, don't drop items by the door, because it automatically deletes them once they drop.
Oh, okay.
Be very careful about that, we lost shulkers here.
Oh. Fair. Oh, the grass here looks different too.
Kyo's been very good about maintaining everything, but the weather's changing still.
Yeah, like the trees, the leaves, they look less vibrant. Everything. Okay.
So, in the Shadow Realm, it turned out there was a civilization there.
Interesting.
Do you know what... Well, have you met any Shadow Kits before?
Not to my knowledge, but also I didn't recognize the revenants when you know they were with you.
That is fair.
So I could have.
They're humanoids with cat-like features. Have a tendency to have a root somewhere in dark-related energies, but not always.
Interesting.
Tends to go from person to person, but to my understanding, there's a natural sort of almost biological inclination. It would have to be considering they come from a realm of shadow, but
That makes sense.
these shadow cats had a separate government. A kingdom, actually. And their kingdom had a king by the name of Regulus.
Okay.
A majority of people, after some exploration, ended up finding the castle that the Shadow Cats lived in.
Fair.
And a solid amount of people from Port Spiral, and people in my company. You've met Lily and Kyo.
Yeah.
We went there as well. And a friend of mine was wrongfully taken into prison.
Oh.
It was due to a cultural reason, and it was half-baked at most from the king. Truth be told, as as dramatic as it sounds, the king seemed a bit offended by the fact that my friend did a ritual with his daughter, which meant marriage in their culture.
Oh. Okay.
It's, you read these sorts of things in romance novels, but the issue of it is that we have reason to believe that it's not even a actual cultural requirement, more just a tradition that was kept. As for this, just is giving, I suppose, exposition to why it's permanently night here now.
Fair.
I went to go break my friend out of that prison.
Understandable.
People kept saying he wanted to stay. I didn't believe it. And I went to go break him out. He didn't want to go, at least not initially. I didn't agree with him, so I instead left him there and started sneaking around the castle to see anything that I could use to exonerate him. Instead, I found a monster inside of the king's basement.
Oh.
I don't have any evidence to back this up, but I've been blamed for the release of said monster.
But you didn't, right? Like, at least you don't believe you did?
I had very little intention of releasing the thing. I didn't even know what it was. I just skimmed through a journal I had taken from Regulus and went down there because I thought maybe something important was there.
That makes sense.
I know the culprit, but I don't have any evidence to prove it yet. It all happened on the spur of the moment, and part of me doesn't even think Alessandra did it with any actual plan.
Fair. That's a new name, as Alessandra. I don't know many people, seemingly. So that's the person who, like, truthfully did it?
Correct.
I believe you.
Well,
I don't think you would willfully release a monster that was capable of removing the sun.
I'm not gonna deny that's a bit fast of your belief, but thank you.
Well, yeah, you were correct on that, but you don't seem like the kind of person to do that. I mean, I don't know much about you, of course, so I guess you could be lying to me, but I don't see that as likely. You seem to be a very straightforward person from what I've learned, and maybe I'm wrong, and that could make me a fool, but that is my judgment on this. I'm kind of quick to make decisions like that.
Even still, thank you.
Of course, it's.
I
mean, I trust that you aren't, you didn't have the ulterior motive, basically.
Regardless, due to that beast escaping, it upset what appeared to be an obscura, a fox-like humanoid.
Okay.
That said being is the one that put the world in night.
Why? I mean, I don't.
It was seen as this realm siding with the Shadowcats, an act of war, likely.
Oh. Okay, so there's not just the Shadow Realm, but there's some other likely realm that has a different group of people entirely. That. Oh. Okay. That's.
It was a lot for me to process and deal with, I'll admit. That day had a lot going on.
It sounds like it, to be fair.
Yeah. And now I'm apparently a wanted man.
Wanted? For A crime you didn't do.
A crime that, by all accounts and evidence, and by any lack of witnesses thereof, I did. I don't know to what extent, but I was told that there were posters, so...
Posters. Oh. That's not good.
Certainly not amazing.
Agreed. Well, one second. Trying to think.
Take as much time as you need.
So you want to have a wanted poster, so I'm assuming a bounty of sorts. That's I don't have words. I don't have words to properly. Not at you. I'm not, but like at
the situation.
The situation, correct. This will also come off as rash, but if you ever get in a situation where you need someone to defend you, where you need someone to fight,
I can't ask that of you.
I'm not asking you to ask that of me. I'm asking you to promise that to me.
I cannot do that in good conscience. You barely know me, Genevieve.
You are correct, but you are one of the few people on here that's not dead that I can trust, that I've learned to trust, that I've allowed myself to trust. You are one of the few people who isn't who didn't die in my home, that is still with me, and I don't want to lose anyone else. You're not gonna know anything about my town or about my lineage, but if it's okay, allow me to explain.
Do you want to take a seat and talk about it then?
If you want to take a seat, I'm okay with taking a seat. I'm just. So, since you along with others are people who are here not from this world, so to speak, from a world akin to it, correct?
Correct.
I'm guessing that the last name Witherwoods rings no bell then.
Absolutely not.
Okay, that makes sense. Also due to the fact that my town, it was from Carcadia even further away than Carcadia is to the archive itself.
So on the other side of the world, pretty much from me.
Most definitely. One thing I've not said, because I've not found important, is mentioning anything about this, but technically, I am Lady Genevieve Witherwoods of Shadecliff. Shadecliff is my home that is seemingly destroyed. I have not had the time or desire to go back yet to see what has been wrought upon my home. And I don't use the title because I feel it's useless with the state my town is likely in. What I want to make clear, though, is that... Okay, so... When the town... Interesting.
Means a wither is out there somewhere.
Hopefully not near...
Someone's getting their runs in.
But what happened was my family was the Witherwood family for more than 500 years was the protector and leaders of Shadecliff. I don't remember how we got what our name came from. I was not told that that was something related to something I wasn't allowed to know until I was an adult. But due to the conditions politically near my home, I had to leave before I turned 18. What I am almost certain was wrought upon the town is an attack, a destruction of the town, and through that, my parents are likely dead. That's it's hard for me to wrap my head around still some days, to be fair. But the to know that when I check in the direction of Shadecliff, I don't see any life there anymore. And by see, I mean I don't sense it when I'm in that spirit circle, that one that you have, which by the way does look like it will work well, and I do know it works pretty. Because I used it once with Lily.
I'm glad to hear it.
Point though. But to know that everything I had known is gone, and that I wasn't there to help, eats away at me, because that is what I was supposed to, what I thought myself was supposed to do. My parents sent me away for my own safety, hoping that I would find a new home and forget about my life, because it's not safe there anymore. It wasn't safe there. They are. This is a very roundabout way of me explaining that I have lost anyone I have known from my birth to around 17 or 18 years old, and I have not been around many people since, due to just me not being good at meeting new people, and me not being around large groups of people like that. But I can't bear to see something like that happen again. I can't bear to lose someone that I have any ounce of trust in again. I've lost an entire town, I do believe, and I'm not certain if I could be wrong, and I do hope I'm wrong, but I'm not going to act like I'm not fairly certain that I am correct. And since I wasn't able to be there to help fight, even if that meant my death, my demise, with my parents, with my comrades, my people in my town, even if that meant, that I would die, I would have died 4 years ago, roughly. I don't know if I don't think me being there would have helped, but I don't know. And I don't want to have to wonder with anyone else that I've worked with, if they get in a situation like this, a bounty on your head, that what could I have done, say 5 years removed after this, if they get you, if they succeed in their the bounty. I can't. I refuse to let it happen. I would rather fall upon my sword than see that happen to anyone else I know, willfully, without me putting in my all.
And nobody's cost but your own, right? Nobody's cost but your own.
But my own, yes. I would rather die fighting than see, and give you or someone else a fighting chance if they do try to get you, if something happens, then live with the knowledge that I have twice failed, and that I don't deserve my title or the magic that I possess if I did not use it as it should have been used. So I did not use my title. I did not use my power in my own home to defend those that I had known, to defend a town that had been safe for nigh 600 years, only for it to fall and me not be there. I can't let it happen again. I need you to promise me. I understand that you don't want someone promising something like this, or having to make a promise with someone about this, but I need this. I can't stand to lose. Lose someone again, because
Breathe, Miss
I just
Genevieve.
can't.
Breathe.
I'm trying to.
One leaf in, one thorn out.
Okay, it's something I try not to talk about much because funny enough, 4 years removed from something, a loss like this, it still hurts nonetheless.
I understand. More than you can know. We have a lot alike in this sense, I think. My name is Andr Lockhart. I'm the last of my kind and the last of my own lineage.
Oh.
My own lineage, well, I suppose you could call me a royal in that category as well, technically. My great-grandfather led my people.
Fair.
But that was an age that I wasn't there for. It was an age that fell apart before I was born, even. I told you that I came from another world and, well, another dimension, universe. There's proper measurements for it, but they escape me right now.
It's okay. I wouldn't know the proper measurements either.
Trust me, I hardly know them myself. I had to learn them, and I can still barely comprehend it sometimes.
Fair. It sounds complex, as you were saying about that, though. If you were going to go on further. If not, I'm not trying to prod.
I don't remember if I've told you about it before, but I'm among the ones that stayed initially when people started venturing off from my home into other dimensions.
Oh.
My home was torn with war, and I wanted to stay to repair it. And one day, something unstoppable came. Corruption. The Skulk.
The Skulk? Okay, I vaguely know about that. As a thing, at least. I've seen a little bit of it.
It was controlled by an entity. One that was a maniac, if anything. But it was like nature. You couldn't fight it. And it consumed my world bit by bit. I assembled together whoever has managed to escape it. We didn't have any choice but to run, flee. But before we did, corruption made me do something that it took one of my closest friends, changed him, turned him into something that hunted us. So I did the only thing that I could to protect everyone. I had to kill him.
That makes sense. That sounds like something very rough to do, especially with someone I'm assuming was quite close to you.
I made a vow before that, a long time ago. To protect people, and those I cared about. And no one's cost but my own. And I think we're alike in that way.
That does kind of sound similar. I'm not, because I was not afraid to lay down my life for Shadecliff, but my parents sent me away. And I don't want to be barred from the opportunity again to save anyone.
Then if you want me to make this promise, then my condition is that you make me one in turn.
What is the counter promise, I suppose, then?
Same arrangement. We stand by one another.
Okay. If you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. I don't tend to like other people putting their lives on their line for me, but if that is the necessity for me to do what I see as necessary, considering we both have the same thought, similar thoughts on this, I know there's probably no way to budge you if there's no way to budge me.
What else happens when a movable object meets an unstoppable force? And they surrender. Besides, what was I going to do? Neither of us agreed to help one another.
I mean, it was a possible outcome, I suppose. That would have been an interesting outcome. I definitely prefer the you not turning down my promise, so I will not turn down you. You not turning down my request of a promise, so I will not turn down yours.
That seems to be the only fair scenario.
I suppose it seems so, yes. But yeah. Sorry, I'm hearing noises.
My one of my tenants.
Oh.
If you yeah. Oh, he heard me.
Hello.
Hello, Ren. I didn't mean to keep you from your rest.
No, I wasn't resting. I was researching.
I need more books here.
Yeah.
I'll have to get
but-
some soon.
Maybe I can bring some from Shady Cliff if I find any surviving ones.
I think I would actually like to go with you. It's if you ever venture back that way. If you're okay with me writing about it and putting an exhibit here about it.
I would be okay with that. I don't know what we'll see there to the extent of what is going to be seen. I've seen you before, haven't I?
Maybe.
I've seen you before, right?
I don't recall. He's been here for a bit though.
Not here. When the docks.
That's right.
Oh,
Sanctum.
yes.
He needed help, so I let him stay.
Fair. That makes sense.
Speaking of research, Hades, my hypothesis seems true, at least on the blood half of it. I was able to, yeah, you see it. I was able to distill this, if you will. It's
I am fascinated, yet somewhat concerned.
That does look quite odd.
yeah. I found out after extensive scientific processes, I was able to distill Kenku blood down into its purest form of simply just darkness. I have reason to believe this might be the first step to my other hypothesis.
Fascinating. So there is light and spiral energy that can just simply be found in the very being of these individuals. In the Shadow Dimension, Kenku naturally occurred there too, but not like the ones we've seen here. They were very large in stature, to put it lightly.
They were a lot different than the ones that are the ones we see here.
The term Amazonian comes to mind.
Okay. So much different than what we would expect to see out of Kenku.
Oh, extremely.
Bigger, stronger, faster.
Oh, that sounds concerning. I'm kind of glad I haven't went into the Shadow Realm.
Although it seems that in said failed state, the at least connection to the spiral is very dimmed, as they don't seem to have too much of it. They more so rely on their strength.
So they're not keen to use magic, instead using their
The ones that seem to be naturally occurring there aren't as sharp of wit as the ones here. Which could imply an evolutionary change. But it also raises the question of, well, we learned recently that we had, and it was a theory before that, we had reason to assume that both Shadowcats and Kenku had to have come here at some point to leave some kind of lineage, but we didn't know to what extent. And I mentioned the journal I found before. The one left by the King of the Shadowcats. He stated specifically that his civilization, while he was in, maybe not in power, but as far as his knowledge was, he was around when the Shadowcats had last visited this world.
So it would be somewhat recent, I suppose, then? Or are they long-lived?
They're long-lived, to my understanding.
So maybe not that recent.
I mean, to imply the fact that that shadow kits and the Kenkus found here are not just genetically, but internally and different with their, and most certainly different with their connection to the spiral. It implies much.
You wouldn't happen to have that broom still on you?
It's for personal use, I'm afraid. This is what I use to dust the archive.
Well, I think I could borrow it for a second.
Oh, the storage room should have feathers and sticks for that.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll go grab that.
Believe it or not, he's not the strangest person I've had living under my roof at any point.
Interesting.
There may be some ethical divides between us, but I think he's a good man.
That's fair. All I knew him for before was the wanting to trade for soul, and that is very much, you know, my stance on that.
On that note, I suppose that warrants trust enough to explain why I asked you to come here. Or, well, I wish I asked, or why I summoned you.
Summoning's an equivalent to asking, I feel. I was just caught off guard by the whole situation, so that's why I was very...
I really wish I could have given some kind of warning. I do apologize.
Oh, the teleport me is okay. That's why I gave you those. Like I'm explicitly okay with that, as it's helps me research and also helps in situations like this. It was more so I was just vastly confused about what I had not been present for. That led to me being extremely lost when I got here, because I was already kind of freaking out about the sun being gone. But now I understand, and that is still insanely confusing, but at least there's a answer to it.
It's better than the question itching at you.
And the what?
The question, better than having the question itching at you.
Yes.
So, in a simple way of putting it, I need you to do a reading, if that's something you can do.
A reading of
me.
Of what? Okay, a reading. I only really have done readings on myself, as that is how I check how long I have left. But I am capable of them through that.
It's something that I can't really... I have a theory, potentially, but I need this to be kept quiet for now.
My lips are sealed on this.
One more time?
Whatever I find out,
Oh.
Whatever I find out will be good. I promise.
Thank you. Also, out of character, sorry I interrupted you there. I just didn't hear the first part very clearly.
No, you're okay. My mic has been having some issues cutting off, it seems.
Ye all
I
good.
mean, you move my boom arm closer, or just stop slouching.
I'm still shocked by the fact that you do have a boom arm. I'm kind of jealous.
I did a lot with my setup when I first made it.
It sounds great. I've just got a good mic and I've just kept my monitors. Okay, back to Uller. Whoosh.
Okay, so a reading on you, your soul specifically, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So to explain, we had a returning person that's now staying here. She has a similar, well, not necessarily a similar ability to yours, but she has an ability to read people as well, which is admittedly an oddity to me, as I've only met a handful of people that could. But her present condition, she was another person corrupted by, in fact, the same thing that took my home.
But she's survived to some degree? Isn't
We
as
were-
the person you mentioned?
We were able to purify her. Well, not purify, but we were able to cut the skulk off her, the corruption.
That's good. That's good.
She's not completely free of it, and I don't think she'll ever be the same after it, but she is alive,
And she has a chance to recover.
and that she does.
That is good.
She needs time, but I'm certain she will.
Sure.
But what's concerning to me is I've been having dreams.
Okay.
Mostly I chalked it up to trauma, but there's a nature to some of these.
Okay.
And not too long ago, she said that she sensed something else in me. Something different.
Okay. That's definitely abnormal, I would assume.
My hovering friend in the other room there, likely you saw it.
Yes.
I would have had him do a reading, but he's not able to. So I didn't have much else to turn to.
It's okay. That's why I gave you those papers in case anything comes up that seems necessary. Because that's kind of what I try to do. I try to be of assistance in my field of expertise, as it were. So, you want me to do a reading on you?
Yeah. That's about the long and short of it.
That's fair.
Because there's something going on with me and I don't know what.
I can understand how that'd be terrifying. Like, at least with me, I know why my hair is turning white, why I'm more tired than before, why everything is as it is. I have that knowledge to me. So, I'm trying to figure out how I do this on a different person. So for me, I do it in a way that's akin to checking my pulse, as in, like, I'll put my hand to my neck, or sometimes in a way that's not akin to that, of putting a hand to my chest, which I am very comfortable with doing on myself, because that's my own hand on my own body. I might be able to do that through your hand, I suppose. You can feel a pulse through someone's hand.
That's the best way to do it.
Indeed. I don't know how to do that, but
I just typed in /me.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to feel for not feel for a pulse, but for your soul. You just take some moments. I do feel your soul. It is not whole, as you mentioned. But there's something else. There is something else. It's it feels dark, old beyond it just feels almost, I don't know if this is the right word, but almost kind of like something ancient and chaotic, and it feels like it has ill intent. I don't know. I apologize for jumping back like that, but that was quite a shock to my sensing of that. Souls are normal. That is, it itself terrified me. I something like that I assume would be able to give you nightmares. Not that I know about how that would function, but it feels concerning. You don't notice anything other than
The dreams were all
The
that
dreams.
happened before. But after... When we split the corruption off of this woman, the corrupted half was still alive.
Oh.
It was crawling away. I killed it, but in its death throes it latched onto me.
Oh.
Started enveloping me. I thought I was seeing things, but I was okay. None of it was there when I came back to.
Oh, that is... That... I don't have words to respond. That is very concerning sounding.
You understand why I'm trying to keep this to myself for now.
Yes, I do. As I said, my lips on this matter are sealed. I swear by my I swear by my sword on that.
I found out as well, additionally, I was able to do this.
Okay. So that's not something within your normal repertoire of capabilities?
Neither was any of the wind magic I'm capable of utilizing, but I've seen that another individual I met from this dimension, a Kenku, she was capable of using similar wind magic, and after surviving corruption herself, was able to utilize sound-based abilities as well. So there may be a correlation.
Of imbuing you with sound if you survive, like sound capabilities if you survive, or if it's part of you.
If either corruption has a remnant still attached to you, or after all, we've seen wardens capable of using the same abilities.
It does align it to that, I suppose. That's
But my body wasn't capable of doing this before. These aren't things that are natural to me.
yeah, they're something that isn't what is. Yeah, I'm just almost kind of repeating you. That I'm not. There's a lot of things I'm not sure about now, and I'm realizing just how narrow my field expertise is through this, and that's okay. It's just very interesting. I mean, this is more of a concerning type of interest, but it isn't interest in the fact that that's something that my brain does not understand.
You're fine. I don't understand this myself whatsoever. Thank you for
Of course,
for doing that, and for keeping my confidence about it.
part of the job. as I would say, I don't know how much help I am going to be because my capabilities are a lot more surface level on these things. But if anything does come up for it, once again, the papers. I might be a little disoriented for a moment, but once you explain to me why I'm here, I will be. I'm not even like wearing my dress right now. Like, yeah, I have to get that thing cleaned.
It's also appropriate weather for a sweater.
That is true. Well, if I'm going back,
Allow me to walk you out then.